Oh, right. Merry jungle. We're in a jungle, and we are making games as well as playing games. Playing variety games this holiday season. Happy holidays. And we're making games, which means we sometimes talk about game design or make some stuff in a game engine. Or like today, we're going to do some art. The artwork we need to do for a battle card game called Shuffle Wars. Cheeky, silly name for a battle card game. The battle card game has 50 cards you could play in battle. 50. Each card is a different fantasy creature or force that is over the top and rather silly. This game does not take itself very seriously. So we started with just the names of these creatures or forces, and now we have the task of trying to imagine what they actually look like. Because take a look at these names, they are goofy. Actually, first things first, there's a game down below we made as well. It's called Small Towers. You're welcome to play. The bots will get out of the way as soon as you queue up. Okay, enough said. If we take a look at the names of the cards that we have, they include Rocket Dragon and Cougar Gun and, Zombie Bear and Rock King and War Unicorn, just like goofy names. They're grouped in fives because there are 5 types of battle cards in our game. There's a power card, defense card, speed card, health card, and luck card. Those are the 5 stats, and those cards, if it's a power card, it has a maximum power level. That's why we call it that. That's why it's grouped this way. It's so I can keep it straight. But long story short, we have 50 names, and they are quite silly. We've been making our way down. We've done 15 so far, and some are really hard. And today's card is one of those really hard ones. The name is Unstoppable Force, which is going to go with our health card, Immovable Object. These names are silly, but they're also meant to be over-the-top forces or creatures. So now we're tasked with trying to figure out what the heck does an unstoppable force look like? Well, okay. Our job is character design here because later I'm going to take the character design. Let's imagine it's something simpler like a humanoid type of creature, and we designed this creature, and this is our creature design. Cool. I will take the character design we make and then I will compose that into the portrait of the creature on the card. Like the frame on the card might be like this. I'm dealing with an incredibly small tablet, so bear with me. The portrait's up here, and so I might say, okay, that's the character design. So the portrait, let me see, I kind of want to do something like this and have them in a pose this way, But I can refer to the design of the creature as I figure out what the portrait should be to do, cool, dramatic, whatever it is, right? This portrait will have good color, lighting, blah, blah, blah. All I care about now, though, is the shape and the important thematic details that make this character this character. Is the unstoppable force a humanoid? Probably not. I mean, who's to say? I actually don't know. I made up these names knowing that I was going to be challenging myself to come up with what do they look like. Well, I could think about both unstoppable force and immovable object at the same time. They are meant to go together. I mean, right? Roar meets roar. This is a nice shape for an immovable object. Actually, it's very stable. Right? Right? But an unstoppable force could be like a bullet shape or a wedge shape. Something. Oh, this tablet. I'm going to go absolutely bananas. Let's just vaguely think about shapes for a second, because unstoppable force and immovable object are ridiculous names that I don't have a solution for yet. But let's imagine for a second that this is like a wedge that's sitting on the ground with like a stable base like this, right? And so we're looking at it from an edge. Right? It's going to look like this. Okay. And if that's true, that's a pretty stable thing that could be... Gosh, I cannot draw with this tablet. I really, really can't. Okay. There we go. I suppose if I drew smaller... Gosh, I don't know. I should be able to reconfigure this tab. Hey, Billy, what's up? Hey, please use Command Ty so I know you're here. I appreciate you. I want to know that you're here, and I want to greet you when you're here. So use Command Ty. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. You're welcome to lurk, by the way. You can always use the secret commands as well. Shh, secrets. Okay. Oh, I did not spell that correctly. Having to type with the wrong hand on a separate thing. Excuse me. There. Okay. Back to it. Character design. Something called unstoppable force, which I think is like this. This one on the left. The one on the right, I think is its twin or whatever, the anti thing, the immovable object. I think we're going to need to think about these both at the same time. I think they're going to be paired together. When players see the portrait of these creatures and forces, they're going to have to make sense of it with the name as well as the picture. Our character design work is to make sense of the name. In this case, unstoppable force. If I am thinking about unstoppable force as well, it's got to be a force, meaning it's moving. That's what force is, right? Talking physics. And I'm just coming up with the most efficient shape to describe this. I'm really trying to figure out what is wrong with... I honestly, it feels like I'm completely drunk trying to draw, which is absolutely bananas. Trying to figure out what it is that I can do to make this easier. Long story short, I'm like reaching over in one place and looking in another. So, all right. If that's true, and there is like a very stable, immovable object, then unstoppable force needs to be, well, yeah, we're going to have to see it as clearly made to move and keep moving and never stop. Just thinking about the definition of unstoppable force. There are some tricks I can use to the shape of it. This tablet is going to drive me absolutely bananas. If I lean a shape forward like this, it looks like it's moving, or at least it could head in this way easier, like in this direction. I'm just going to draw smaller, see if that helps. But I also like the wedge shape as something that is made to move easily. Can we combine these? Right, this wedge. I have got to figure this out. Why is this so difficult to get a straight line? So this wedge shape, moving that direction, okay, this leaning forward, can I combine these? So it's like, yes, right? Like that. Okay. I swear, I'm so careful with this line, and it's still shaky and crazy bad. Like, I'm not getting the line I want. I'm really not happy with my tablet setup. I absolutely need to upgrade. So, in general, this shape might convey both movement, as in force, and ease of movement, with both leaning and the wedge. So like this. I know this doesn't look like anything yet, but that's actually the problem. We need to figure out what this might look like. And, I don't know. You tell me what unstoppable force looks like. Oops. I need the right tool for the job, and clearly this tablet is not the right tool. Absolutely. Let me just try shuffling everything around here to make this easier, because good lord. I'm like moving vines and rocks out of my way in order to use the tablet. I'm in a jungle. I'm in a jungle, and things are difficult. So, okay. I like this idea so far. This says it's ready to move. This says it will continue to move easily, and so this really does feel more like a unstoppable force shape. And so I'm down with this so far. That said, we're supposed to be going up against things like Rocket Dragon and Cougar Gun and Ballistic Lion. And so, I mean, let's make it make sense by giving this enough drama and heft and weight such that it would make sense that this card goes up against other cards. Right now it's just a shape, and I can't just do a shape, right? Using this shape as a guide is helpful, but what is an unstoppable force on the scale of, I mean, for Caustic Sponge, another difficult card, another difficult character to design, we ended up making it the scale of a mountain by showing it eating away at a mountain. You know, that's the size and scale and force that we're talking about. These are over-the-top battle card creatures and forces. Yeah, this is probably one of the most difficult ones. Wow, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do about this setup. So, okay. one thing we can do is show scale by, for example, having like trees and things that are indicating that we are looking up, right? So if I have a view like a worm's eye view, although you know, it's not small at all, that we're just looking up, right? Then I can do that with like if it's in a forest, we can show these trees like this, right? And even some clouds, I guess, up here, maybe. But then this shape where the camera that we're just talking about right now is like down here, and it's tiny, and it's looking up. So we'd be looking at, I don't know. I mean, if it's just the shape, it would be like, this is just, it's not going to read at all, actually. It's not. Not going to read. I might need to pull the camera back or something. But like, I want it to be so huge that the trees are dwarfed by it. And I don't know, maybe it could be like rolling along the ground and like kicking up dust and stuff as well, actually. That might not be so bad. I know, this doesn't look like anything yet. At most, it looks like the worms in Dune or something. This is such garbage. I don't know what I'm doing with this yet, but I like the idea that perhaps I use an up angle to indicate the scale of this thing, because it's so big, it's like way up here in the sky. You know, where wow, I'm running out of ideas about how to show an amorphous shape without actually deciding on what it is. Like, I can't go much further without deciding what the heck are we talking about, you know? But if it's big enough to push a bunch of rocks around, in fact, let's lean some trees down, yeah? Right? It's like knocking trees down and like, you know, then it's starting to be like, oh, this is ginormous and moving and I mean, I suppose we could even have animals running away from it and stuff, but like, it's not successful. Even the shape isn't quite right yet. But, I mean, I can't just rely on this shape. I can't. Right? I'm totally thinking of like the worms of Dune at this point. This is so, I mean, that's an unstoppable force. Right? That's this kind of scale that we need to actually do if we're going to show this. Actually, drill is also a very efficient way to continue moving no matter what. The spiral and all that stuff. That's true, actually. Can we combine all of those? So, wedge, leaning forward, and some kind of drill shape where this needs to move forward, yeah? This is an unstoppable force. Actually, that's true. You think about a drill that is spinning. These grooves in it, it drives forward as well as wedging its way through. Right? Actually, yeah. I like that, actually. And I like the idea that maybe there's... Well, actually, a drill bit, though, has a point. So this hole doesn't make much sense. I kind of liked using that because this was flat. But this is beginning to say, no, we should be a wedge. Well, now I'm saying, well, let's just do a point then. Because that's unstoppable, right? So what does that look like now? Well, it's a point. It absolutely needs to have leaning, which I don't know that I have showing in this at all. So maybe I can't do this angle. Maybe that means I can't do that angle. But I love the idea that this is made to move forward. I don't know that spinning and this angle makes sense yet. Is there a way to say there's a part of it that's leaning forward, but then also it is a wedge? Okay, yeah, I see where I'm going with that. I should not do that. Okay. This is like, you know what it's going to be? It's going to end up being, because the name is Unstoppable Force. We can go ahead and make it not a physical thing, but something that can affect all other physical things. I mean, sure. To have it represented as wedge, drill, shape that's leaning forward, and just huge is fine. I think. But if it's like, if it's not a physical thing, like an actual steel drill bit, right? If it were, then I would need to describe how this leaning forward is also spinning. If it's like a tornado, I don't need to describe it because that can always change. This can be shifting. The shape of it can be whatever I need it to be. Which begs the question, okay, Smarty Pants, how are you going to draw the shape of a tornado? So I need to draw a shape and decide about things like the shape, the size, helping to indicate how I'm going to draw the portrait later. And I don't know how to do that yet. So, square one, sort of. We know that showing an up angle is going to be a problem to show a shape that we really want to emphasize as all three of those things. The leaning forward, along with the scale, which, you know, Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's draw a forest, right? The scale of it, in fact, let's lay down some trees in its wake. Right? That sounds fine. The scale of it can be shown by showing background. Done. Like, easy. I can do that. No big deal. Hills and more trees in the background. Fine. Done. Okay. Then, if that's true, I'm able to get the wedge shape with a point. Let's call the point here. Right, I can make a straight line with my tab. Of course I can. Of course I can't. And then have drill and size and wedge and all those things at the same time. You know, I'm going to spend more time on the trees than I am this, quote, character design. But point is, this would be like we're looking down to a valley. I mean, let's imagine other things that are sort of equally powerful, like glaciers. Over time, they are unstoppable forces. They will carve out granite rock and carve entire valleys over time. Right? That's kind of what I would love to show here. That would actually communicate what we need to say. So let's go for it. Like a fast-moving glacier. Doesn't sound... Well, it's fantasy. What are we talking about? Fantasy. Yeah, we want to say, these trees are all being knocked down. Like, these are being knocked down. Sure. Suppose we could have a couple of trees that just missed. That's fine. They have to be in the foreground. It also shows scale. That'll work in our favor. Okay. So, and even a hill, that might actually help quite a bit. Let's do that. Oh, this tablet is going to drive me bananas. Honestly. I did just upgrade, so I don't have the means to get a new tablet for a while, but... Oh, that's next. Especially if I have to do these portraits on the cards with color and good lighting and things. I need way more control. I need to draw exactly where the image is, not look one place and draw another. My hand is literally somewhere else. All right. So let's pretend this is communicating forest. and size and scale and okay, right? I am spending way more time on the trees than I am the creature or force or whatever. But that's, I mean, how else am I going to show what this is? Unstoppable force, right? Crazy town. I love the idea that it's a wedge. I love the idea it's got a point. I love the idea that we're using the concept of a drill. And okay, so now here's a question. Should the drill thing go this direction or should it go this direction? Okay. Now, you look at the back of this and you're saying, well, of course, we have to go like this, right? Because that'll match up. But then does it look like it's spinning or does it look like it's dragging across? I know, overthinking it. Welcome to my world. So here is a new wrinkle to it. When I want to emphasize this part, whoops, yeah, this part. Right. When I want to emphasize this part, the force itself, I'm going to sort of de-emphasize the rest, right? Or do I color this in and let the background be in the background? Overthinking it, I know. This is a hill. Back. Okay. Okay, I'm having a heck of a time with this tablet. I need to make a decision and go with it. It's it's showing scale. You're not going to miss that. I guess the idea of wind or not solid force is the tricky part here. And that's why I was thinking about how do I fill this. Let's pretend for a moment. Yeah, this is already incredibly unsatisfying with this, with the inability to draw straight lines. I'm already very unsatisfied. I'm literally... It is like I'm drunk. It's absolutely like I'm drunk. I don't have the control I need to do this. Okay. This is kind of turning into a joke. I'm so not happy with the ability to do this. Like, I literally can't put what's in my head on this page. It's garbage. It looks like a stupid seashell. I can kind of get the idea this is supposed to be big. I can kind of understand that it's got the wedge shape. Now what do I do? I can say it's big and wide by doing this. Okay, that's solving some of the problem, I guess. Oh, I'm not happy with this at all. This is so bad. If I were to try and make this tornado, what I'd be looking for is the lines that indicate speed, like where the leaves that the wind would be picking up would be thrown around, and that's one thing. It's another to say, I am just so disgusted with this. This is not working at all. Oof. So I also need to think about like continuing the lines over on that side, right? That's right. And now I'm just confusing the issue. Yeah, it's a spiral. I kind of understand that that's what I'm going for, but like, who understands this drawing? No one. Like, this just doesn't make visual sense at all. And that's precisely what this character design part is supposed to figure out. This is why this is a problem. This is why we've wanted to make this a step that we could figure out. I mean, I suppose one thing I could do is continue the background. Good Lord, why is this gray? How did that get gray? Right? Yeah. Okay. Because at least then you can understand it's not meant to be solid. So if I continue the background, I get that going for me, and that's okay. Here's more trees getting knocked down and crushed, and where's the destruction in its wake? Okay. See, I don't know if this is communicating anything. I just know that in order for it to be an unstoppable force, part of what it needs to communicate is how much destruction that could do. And that's what I'm focusing on. I don't have any other direction right now of what this could be other than showing a mass amount of destruction with a background that is there in some places and then destroyed in others. Yeah. So here I am, like, spending a ton of time on trees. I mean, yeah. Clearly, I'm having a hard time with this one. It's a hard one. Unstoppable force. Immovable object will be the same way, right? Because at least this is somewhat action oriented. The other one is not. It's going to be even harder, I imagine. But let's keep going. And I right? Doing something like this might be helpful, where remember to fill in the parts that are actually visible. Yeah, I'm running out of ideas, actually, because force. I don't know. The shape makes a lot of sense. The subtle idea of a drill makes some sense. Is that enough? I don't know, man. I don't know, actually. This is really hard to say. Right? I'm not going to get the lines that I want here at all. So this is going to be frustrating. Yeah, I'm going to get so frustrated trying to get any kind of line work here done. So I'm not going to try that because I'm going to get so frustrated with this setup. Instead, I'm going to clean up what I have. I'm going to hate myself later when I have to actually draw this thing. I'm going to say, what the heck did I do? I'm going to say, I cheaped out and didn't get this done. My future self is going to be mad. At my present self. Okay. Yeah. I'm stuck. I'm really, really stumped on this one. This is so hard. This is not an easy one. And what we did end up getting done, though, is scale. With the name, you can understand. We got scale, we got shape, something like form, even though this is literally formless. This is something without form, and that's part of the reason why this would be really, 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 really hard to convey. Therefore, I'm going to surrender at this point. especially since I cannot draw a straight line to save my life right now. These lines are all just like there's. I think I'm going to draw this line from here to here, and here we go. Woo! And it's absolutely out of control. I am frustrated with that. Man, is this the best I can do? No. It is not. But is this the best I can do right now? I think so. Unfortunately, yes. Hey, unstoppable force. Yes. Is it an over-the-top creature or force of a fantasy nature? I think so. Is it vaguely communicating why it would be unstoppable force? Yes. Visually, it is vaguely communicating it. Is it totally successful? Heck no, it's awful. I'm so disgusted. This might be the angle, frankly, that I need to show it in composition, but, and this is, I guess, the shape. And I suppose I've made a couple of decisions about the form being these suggestions of a twisty line like wind or tornado, I guess. With better line work, I could define that better. And that's what I'm leaving till later. This is so unsatisfactory. And yet, you know, that's what we got. This has been an art stream. Because this ape needs to do artwork for one of our games. It is a battle card game called Shuffle Wars. And although it doesn't take itself too seriously, this character design work actually does, because the contrast of the silliness is the drama we're going to show on battle cards. When we do the portraits, they're going to be filled with drama that are in contrast to the silly names, for example. There's a method to this madness, so trying to take it seriously and actually tackle the problem of what would an unstoppable force actually look like. That's what we got. And, you know, design says that's fine. Move with your best plan and revise it and improve it later. Okay, cool. Done. Happy holidays. You see the bots playing? I see the bots playing. I'm a little interested in the stats, but I'm going to resist. This nerd wants to see the stats, but I'm going to resist. I'm sure they're doing just fine. I just saw them upgrade. I think they're upgraded the engineer. Anyway. Okay. We're in a jungle. We like to make games here as well as play games. And if you're interested in a cartoon ape in a jungle making games, and you want to learn how, or just watch me do it, or you want to just watch me play games, then follow and be notified when we're here. When you show up, do me one favor, do Command Tie. Command Tie lets me know you're here so I can say, hey, you are here. And until then, have fun, do well, be good, stay safe. Happy holidays, see ya.